The season starts with evolved interior of faculty bus complete of young adults caught in heavy visitors. A wildfire has damaged out with inside the nearby woodland, inflicting a big jam. The various college students is a teenage boy named Everett. He's on a name together along with his psychiatric physician. Discussing his ongoing tension problems, he talks how he has already attempted yoga and exercising, however nothing appears to assist. He is hoping the physician would possibly prescribe him something to ease his circumstances. Everett appears out the window. He begins evolved, noticing the hearthplace creeping dangerously near the street. The bus driving force urges all and sundry to live in their seats. However, the developing chance makes that difficult to disregard. Everett cannot assist, however stare out of doors involved. He turns to female status close to him. Her call is Blake. He factors out that humans have already deserted their automobiles and walked away, suggesting perhaps they must go away too. At that second, all and sundry's telephones begin humming with indicators that the faculty is formally closed because of the wildfire. Everett casually asks Blake if she were given the message, however she responds with a clean expression. She tells him she would not have a telcel smartphone or email and insists this is her private preference. Everett reveals her conduct odd, however Blake quick turns the instant round, reminding him that he has tension problems too, and he or she failed to touch upon that. Everett is left speechless. Some other scholar named Austin unexpectedly begins evolved arguing together along with his classmates. He insists that they want to evacuate at once in the event that they need to live to tell the tale. He even processes the bus driving force, looking to persuade her to allow them to out. However, the driving force refuses and explains that she's answerable for their protection, and if whatever occurs her task will be at danger. Annoyed, Austin starts evolved recording the driving force on his telcel smartphone. Seeing this, Blake receives irritated. Without caution, she grabs his telcel smartphone and throws it out of doors. Austin rushes out of the bus to retrieve it. The instant he steps out of doors, something occurs. All and sundry hears odd noises coming from the wooded area. Abruptly, a massive variety of animals start rising from the woods, truly terrified and fleeing from the hearthplace. Panic spreads. Most of the college students and all of them start to step off the bus in confusion and worry. The state of affairs quick turns chaotic. Everett notices that the animals aren't simply escaping, however additionally attacking close by humans with inside the center of the chaos. Austin slips and falls. Everett will become alarmed. It appears like there may be something else out there, something extra risky than simply panicked flora and fauna, harassed and tense. Everett glances in the back of an automobile and sees a darkish tremendous shadow lurking. The sight makes his coronary heart race with worry. Quickly after, a burning automobile comes speeding towards Everett. In a cut-up second, Blake rushes in and pulls him out of harm's manner, saving his lifestyles as she actions a bit farther away. Everett catches a glimpse of something uncommon, that there may be a scene chew mark on Blake's decrease returned. He then realizes that he himself has a comparable chew on his shoulder. The bizarre accidents and the whole thing going on around him start to weigh down him in a kingdom of misunderstanding and panic. Everett runs off into the wooded area. Blake returns domestic best to locate her unemployed father packing up their matters. He is with inside a system of clearing out the residence. He tells Blake to appearance after her autistic, more youthful brother Danny, for the reason that Danny best feels snug round her. As Blake starts evolved to settle in, Danny factors out something uncommon, approximately her jacket, that something caught to it. While she examines carefully, she notices a chew mark on her frame. Quickly after, she begins evolved to sense ill. Her pores and skin starts evolved breaking out, and he or she reports a sharp, surprising ache. Something is truly converting interior her, and it is going on speedy. In the meantime, Everett arrives on the clinic with the chew on his shoulder nevertheless bothering him. Numerous of his classmates are already there recuperating from the sooner chaos, while a nurse asks who bit him. Everett says it turned into a wolf. Then again, Blake steps out of the residence equipped to go away, however simply as there approximately to head. She realizes Danny is lacking. Without losing a second, she rushes off to locate him, while she sooner or later locates Danny. He quietly factors toward a few close by timber and tells her that a person is there. Blake appears in that direction and spots a creature lurking inside the shadows. It is massive and menacing. Grabbing Danny, she quick pulls him away. Her coronary heart-pounding worry grips her as they hurry returned, looking to escape from something. That issue is returned on the clinic. Everett is beneath death observation whilst the physician and nurse study him. They're yet again amazed due to the fact the wound on his shoulder is now barely significant. It is extraordinary thinking about how extreme it had appeared whilst he become first delivered in. Even as the workforce speak, the dual carriageway coincidence and the wide variety of animals that died throughout the chaos. The nurse casually mentions that Everett's mother and father were known as this immediately makes Everett aggravating. Simply then a close-by landline telecell smartphone begins evolved ringing in the sanatorium whilst nobody alternatives up Everett solutions it himself. A mysterious voice on the alternative quit warns him to depart the sanatorium straight away. The caller says it's far coming again and Everett's lifestyles is in hazard. Startled, Everett asks how the caller is aware of his call. However, the voice does not reply to that. Alternatively, it warns him once more that he have to get out before the subsequent complete moon or he can be observed and killed. Moments later, Everett's mother and father arrive. He hurriedly hangs up the telecell smartphone. However, as they stroll closer to him, Everett notices something terrifying and he collapses. In the meantime, Blake argues with her father, approximately staying at an in preference to locating a refuge due to the fact they're already complete. Her father admits he does not have the cash for it. Blake then gives the small amount of money she had secretly stored. Her father accepts the cash and they are attempting to discover it, and throughout the journey Blake starts to evolve to sense lightheaded. She drifts into sleep and has an annoying dream that she's being bitten via way of means of a few type of animal. The complete scene flashes vividly in her thoughts as if it is now no longer a dream, however a reminiscence. Again on the sanatorium, Everett regains focus. His mom scolds him for overreacting to this type of small damage. However, Everett insists it is now no longer only a minor wound and something is critically wrong. His mom, looking to calm him down, gets rid of the bandage. To her wonder, the wound actually does appear it's tiny now. Everett, harassed and annoyed, stares on the location and sees something extraordinary, that his pores and skin is sparkling with a reddish light. Alarmed, he asks his mother and father if they could see it too. However, each of them say no. They insist his pores and skin appears absolutely normal. Unexpectedly, Everett recalls that the whole thing going on to him is probable going on to Blake too, due to the fact she become additionally bitten via way of means of the equal creature. He quick tells his dad and mom that he wishes to locate her. He makes up his thoughts to go away the medical institution earlier than dusk. However, then his dad and mom tell him that it's already nighttime due to the sedative injection he misplaced tune of time, and it is now 8:30 p.m. Listening to this terrifies Everett. The caution at the telecell smartphone name echoes in his thoughts and he is aware of time is strolling out. In the meantime, Blake and her own circle of relatives take a look at right into a lodge. Danny activates the information which indicates photos of animals fleeing from the woodland in massive numbers. Their father speaks to authorities officers pleading for assist, explaining that their residence has burned down. However, he is met with indistinct responses and grows extra pissed off. Then noticing Blake's pores and skin, he remarks that it is converting Blake, developing extra uncomfortable. Does not say a lot. She quietly heads to the toilet to test herself with inside the reflectors. It appears to have dwindled, and whilst she appears at her decrease return, the pores and skin is sparkling unnaturally and the ache will become extreme. Beaten, she collapses to the ground. However, then something extraordinary happens. With inside the reflect, she sees Everett Mendacity on a medical institution mattress. On the equal time, Everett from his medical institution mattress sees Blake Mendacity in her lodge toilet. It is as though their visions are unexpectedly related. Blake quick receives up unsettled and leaves the toilet. She attempts to stroll out of the lodge room, however her father stops her. He tells her he is aware of he hasn't been a incredible father, however he is attempting his quality. Blake lightly replies that she'll be returned quickly, and with that she walks away into the nighttime. Everett's senior Harlan is at a pub whilst he receives messages from his sister Luna, approximately their father Garrett, a park ranger who's lacking. To start with ignoring the messages, Harlan keeps his time with a boy. However, Luna eventually interrupts and insists he allows her look for Garrett. Harlan dismisses her, pronouncing their father is in all likelihood sleeping inside the woodland. However, Luna, pissed off, warns she'll cross by myself if he does not assist. She then mentions that her field of smell have expanded considerably. Heron is shocked due to the fact his listening to power additionally expanded tenfold, amazed at how a lot her competencies have evolved even past what they have been all through the total moon. Luna confirms it, noting 2 extra nights till the following complete moon. Luna additionally stalks that she's attempted contacting Garrett numerous instances, and Heron starts to care, asking how regularly she's attempted. She tells him it's been plenty and Garrett's in no way been like this. Earlier than Harlan mentions the heavy smoke out of door, suggesting that it impair Luna's senses. However, Luna insists that his listening to abilities are precisely what they want. Simply as they speak, Luna gets a message that the police have found Garrett struck. They quick head out to research. Kristen Ramsey, the arson investigator, arrives on the medical institution. With Officer Jin, she asks the Pinnacle nurse if she will meet the faculty kids worried with inside the dual carriageway incident. The nurse confirms that a boy named Everett is admitted there. In the meantime, Everett's dad and mom develop worrying thinking why the police need to talk to their son. His mom will become even extra concerned whilst she learns that the investigator is from the Hearthplace branch. As they talk this, Everett secretly eliminates his 4-line modifications into his very own garments and sneaks out of the medical institution. He pulls up Blake's coat with on his TELSL smartphone and heads closer to her residence on the identical time Blake leaves the lodge and starts a evolved heading domestic. As she walks, she begins a evolved jogging quicker and quicker till she reaches her community avenue. Burdened and disoriented, she encounters her neighbor's canine who had continually barked at her, however now stays silent. She pets